Oh, it's Pinsir!
Pokemon Facts. The history of the Pinsirs is one that is caked in blood and mayhem. These Pokemon first came into prominence during the Kalos Revolution, an era that is marked by much unrest between the monarchy and its people. The working class was burdened with heavy taxes while the ruling class did nothing to improve the quality of their lives. It all came to a head when demonstrations of their grievances with the king turned violent. Riots were immediately suppressed by the royal guards and many of the key leaders of the movement were made examples of. Public executions were held in front of the palace, with Pinsirs being used as their instrument of punishment. The Pokemon didn't want any part in doling out these gruesome tasks, but they were promised much compensation for their roles. Pinsirs had trouble getting work otherwise, so they reluctantly became the court's primary executioners. Every day, they were used to get rid of individuals who were seen as committing treason against their kingdom. They thought it would get easier with repetition, but they were wrong. Their nights were plagued with horrific nightmares. Bloodshot eyes followed them in the dark, pleading with them to spare their lives. Children cried on the streets as piles of bodies rained from the sky. They ran from all the carnage, but they were eventually walled in by vengeful ghosts, seeking to return the favor. Pinsirs wake up screaming in the middle of the night. Their wives try to calm them down, but the Pinsirs push them aside to reach for their bottles. Every day, it became harder and harder to look in the mirror. They became disheveled, bags under their eyes heavy with sorrow and deep regret. They couldn't sleep. They couldn't eat. They couldn't forget the horror. The Pinsirs pleaded with the court to release them from their duties, but they would not hear of it. They just kept shoveling more and more money into their shaking hands, telling them they've got to think about the future of their children as well. Eventually, the common people were able to overthrow the crown, and they used the Pinsirs to exact their revenge. The Pinsirs now executed the royal family, and they couldn't see an end in sight. No one seemed to empathize with the Pinsirs and viewed them as mere tools of vengeance. No matter who was in charge, it appeared that the violence would never stop. Unless they stopped it themselves, they thought. So the Pinsirs filed their horns and made them brittle. And during their next bout of executions, their horns broke before it could carry its duty upon the crown prince. Everybody was confused. Then many in the crowd cried out that this was divine intervention, that God put an end to the violence because the crown prince is the chosen one. The Pinsirs inadvertently helped the monarchy regain their power, and their rule lasted hundreds of years longer than it should have. It's not what they wanted, but their demonstration of civil disobedience had an adverse effect on history. To this day, the working class despise the Pinsirs for the role they played during a tumultuous time in Kalos, all those years ago. I'm Kylo, Ren, and Stimpy, and this has been another episode of Pokemon Facts. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more factual Pokemon facts. Have a wonderful Pokemon day.